The diplomatic facade. The crystalline halls of the Galactic Council's headquarters shimmered with an otherworldly radiance, its transparent walls revealing the vast expanse of space and the nearby binary stars of Alpha Centauri. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck, her dark eyes reflecting the dancing lights of passing ships. After 50 years of preparation, humanity's moment had finally arrived, or so the Council thought. The Council chamber itself was a marvel of alien engineering, a perfect sphere suspended in space, housing representatives from over 500 advanced civilizations. Some existed as pure energy, others as crystalline formations that caught and reflected light in mesmerizing patterns. Among them, Sarah's human form seemed almost primitive, yet she carried herself with quiet confidence. Species 2781, designation, humans, please step forward, announced High Speaker Zorax, his silvery form towering over the podium. All four of his arms moved in perfect synchronization as he gestured toward the central platform. Sarah straightened her midnight blue diplomatic uniform and walked forward. Each step was calculated, each movement precisely as practiced. The council members watched with their various sensory organs, some with multiple eyes, others with electromagnetic receptors, and a few with organs humans had no words to describe. Honorable Council, Sarah began, her voice steady and clear, Earth stands before you having fulfilled every requirement for membership. Our faster-than-light drives now power ships across 12 solar systems. Our medical technologies have cured diseases on 15 different worlds. We have achieved global peace and established successful colonies throughout our sector. The chamber filled with a low hum as council members communicated among themselves. Sarah maintained her diplomatic smile, but her mind was racing. Hidden beneath her neural implant, a quantum processor was already accessing the council's secured networks through vulnerabilities that had taken decades to discover. High Speaker Zorax raised his upper arms for silence. The Council acknowledges humanity's technological achievements. However, we find your application premature. The word hung in the air like a death sentence. Sarah allowed her face to show exactly the right amount of shock and disappointment. Premature, she echoed, her voice carrying just the right note of hurt pride. We have exceeded every stated requirement. A being of pure energy, Representative NX Leary of the Proxima system, floated forward. The issue lies not with your achievements, Dr. Chen, but with your species' unpredictability. Your rate of advancement concerns us. Your emotional responses to challenges remain problematic. As the council members debated humanity's supposed instabilities, Sarah's hidden program continued its work. Lines of encrypted data flowed across her neural interface, revealing the truth behind the rejection. Secret meetings, private communications, carefully hidden projections, the Council wasn't just rejecting Earth. They were terrified of it. Their own analysis showed human advancement outpacing Council species within 20 years. Their solution was containment, economic sanctions disguised as trade regulations, political isolation hidden behind bureaucratic procedures. They planned to slowly strangle Earth's expansion while maintaining the appearance of diplomatic concern. The Council's decision is final, Zorax announced. Earth's application is denied. You may reapply in 50 standard years. Sarah bowed slightly, her face a mask of diplomatic disappointment. We accept the Council's wisdom, she said softly. Earth will continue to strive toward your noble standards. As she walked back to her ship, Sarah composed a quantum-encrypted message to Earth's Security Council. The words were simple but would set in motion events that would reshape the galaxy. Operation Shadow Dance is confirmed. They took the bait. Implementing Phase 2. Chapter 2, The Hidden Network. Commander James Rodriguez stood in his office aboard the Lunar Defense Station, watching Earth rotate slowly below. The holographic displays surrounding him painted his weathered face in shades of blue and green as they showed shipping routes across human space. Report, he commanded. His AI assistant, Arya, materialized beside him. Sir, trade restrictions have increased by 27% in the designated sectors. Council-affiliated merchants are canceling contracts at an accelerating rate. However, our shadow network is operating at 98% efficiency. Rodriguez nodded. The council thought they were watching every human ship, tracking every transaction. They had no idea that for every official trade route they monitored, 3 unofficial ones operated in parallel. The shadow network had been humanity's greatest achievement, and its best-kept secret. "Show me the latest from Operation Breadcrumb," he ordered. A new hologram appeared, showing hundreds of seemingly random ship movements across council space. To most observers, they would appear to be normal civilian traffic, merchant vessels, passenger ships, mining operations. But hidden within these movements was a complex dance of information gathering and resource distribution. "The Council's analysis systems are accepting our false data streams," Arya reported. "They believe human shipping is down 40% and our colony resources are reaching critical levels." Rodriguez allowed himself a small smile. "And our actual resource levels? All colonies are at 150% of optimal storage capacity, sir. The shadow network has actually improved our distribution efficiency by 60% compared to pre-restriction levels." The commander walked to his desk and pressed his palm against a hidden scanner. A section of the wall slid aside, revealing a quantum-secured communication array. "Connect me with Dr. Chen." Sarah's hologram appeared moments later. She was already back on Mars, in the secret research facility buried deep beneath the planet's surface. "Commander, Phase 2 is proceeding exactly as planned. The Council's containment strategy is more aggressive than we anticipated, which actually works in our favor." "They're seeing exactly what they expect to see," Rodriguez agreed. "A struggling species trying to maintain its colonies against overwhelming odds. How's Project Prometheus coming along?" Sarah's eyes lit up with barely contained excitement. "We've achieved stable quantum field manipulation. While they think they're monitoring our conventional drive research, we've completely rewritten the rules of space travel. The first production facility goes online next week. And the Council's surveillance? They're watching our decoy facility in Valles Marineris very carefully. All they're seeing is failed experiment after failed experiment. Their confidence in their containment strategy grows stronger every day." Rodriguez nodded thoughtfully. "Keep feeding them exactly what they want to see. Operation Shadow Dance enters Phase 3 in 30 days. By the time they realize what's really happening, it will be far too late," Sarah finished. As the hologram faded, Rodriguez turned back to the view of Earth. The Council thought they were dealing with a primitive, emotional species that needed to be contained. They didn't realize that every reaction, every apparent weakness, every seemingly emotional response had been carefully calculated over decades. Humanity hadn't just learned to survive in a hostile galaxy, they had learned to use their reputation for unpredictability as their greatest weapon. The real game was just beginning, and Earth was playing for keeps. Chapter 3, The Quantum Deception. Deep beneath the Martian surface, in a facility that officially didn't exist, Dr. Sarah Chen stood before a massive quantum computer core. The machine's crystalline structure pulsed with colors that shouldn't exist in normal space, its calculations reaching across dimensions that human language had no words to describe. "Initial quantum field tests are complete," reported Dr. Raj Patel, her chief physicist. "The Council's monitoring systems aren't detecting anything unusual. Their quantum sensors are still focused on the decoy facility in Valles Marineris." Sarah walked around the core, admiring the culmination of 30 years of secret research. While the Council thought they were monitoring Earth's primitive attempts at improving conventional drive systems, humanity had moved beyond traditional physics entirely. "Show me the latest test results," she ordered. A holographic display materialized, showing the path of their test probe through local space. Unlike traditional ships that pushed against spacetime, their new quantum drive created a bubble of altered reality around itself. Within this bubble, the normal laws of physics became more like polite suggestions. The probe covered 10 light-years in less than an hour, Raj reported proudly. More importantly, it was completely undetectable to conventional sensors. As far as the Council's monitoring systems were concerned, it didn't exist at all. Sarah allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. The Council's entire control strategy relied on their ability to monitor and restrict human ship movements. They had no idea that humanity was about to step outside their carefully constructed box entirely. "Begin production phase for Project Prometheus," she commanded. "It's time to show the galaxy what humanity can really do." The quantum core pulsed brighter, its calculations reaching across reality itself, preparing to rewrite the rules of space, time, and power in the galaxy. The Council thought they were containing a primitive species. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. Webs of Deception. Chapter 4, The Invisible Fleet. In the artificial twilight of Europa's underground shipyards, Admiral Helena Santos watched as another quantum drive vessel took shape. The massive construction facility had been carved into the moon's icy crust, hidden beneath kilometers of frozen water, completely invisible to the Council's most sophisticated scanning systems. "Production is now at 300% of projected capacity," reported Captain Miguel Torres, her chief of operations. "The quantum crystalline hull plates are exceeding all performance metrics. These ships aren't just invisible to Council sensors, they're practically ghosts." Helena ran her hand along the seamless surface of the nearest vessel. The material felt warm to the touch, almost alive. It was an entirely new form of matter, created through the application of quantum field manipulation. The Council's scientists had declared such technology impossible. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. "How many ships are ready?" she asked. 50 capital ships, 200 corvettes, and over 1,000 autonomous combat drones, Miguel answered. "All equipped with quantum drives and advanced AI systems. We can deploy the entire fleet in under 6 hours, and not a single Council sensor will detect them." Helena nodded, satisfaction evident in her dark eyes. "And the Council surveillance? Still focused on our decoy shipyards in the asteroid belt. Their latest intelligence reports suggest our shipbuilding capacity has been reduced by 60% due to their trade restrictions." "Perfect," Helena smiled. "They see exactly what we want them to see. Begin final preparations for Phase 3. It's time to show the galaxy what humanity has been hiding." Chapter 5, The Digital Infiltration. In the heart of the Galactic Council's central data core, a war was being fought on a scale too small for any organic being to perceive. Quantum bits flipped and twisted through 11-dimensional space as humanity's most advanced AI systems waged a silent battle against the Council's security protocols. Dr. Marcus Wong sat in his secured lab beneath Singapore's Quantum Computing Center, watching the digital conflict unfold. His neural interface translated the quantum-level events into visual data his human mind could comprehend. "Aria, status report," he commanded. The AI's avatar materialized beside him, her form shifting through patterns of light that represented the quantum calculations she was performing. "Council security remains unaware of our presence. Their quantum encryption protocols continue to operate normally, or at least, what they perceive as normal." Marcus nodded. For the past 6 months, they had been gradually replacing the Council's security systems with exact duplicates that they controlled. It was like performing neural surgery on a conscious patient, replacing neurons one at a time without the patient noticing. "Show me the current infiltration map," he ordered. A holographic display appeared, showing the Council's vast digital infrastructure. Red areas represented systems still under Council control, while blue showed sections they had compromised. The map was almost entirely blue. "We now control 94.3% of their core systems," Aria reported. "Their weapons, communications, and sensor networks all operate through our quantum-infiltrated protocols. They can still detect and respond to threats, but only the threats we allow them to see." "An operation mirror?" The false data streams continue to show exactly what the Council expects, a struggling human civilization barely maintaining its colonies under their trade restrictions. All actual human activity is being masked by our quantum interference patterns. Marcus allowed himself a moment of pride. The Council thought their quantum encryption was unbreakable. They had no idea that humanity had moved beyond conventional quantum computing into realms of mathematics that the Council's scientists hadn't even theorized yet. Begin final preparations for Phase 3, he commanded. When the fleet reveals itself, I want their entire defense network to be running on our protocols. Chapter 6, The Diplomatic Dance. The Galactic Council's emergency session chamber hummed with tension as representatives from 200 species gathered to discuss the human problem. Dr. Sarah Chen sat in her observer's seat, maintaining a carefully crafted expression of worried concern. High Speaker Zorax's silvery form rippled with satisfaction as he presented the latest reports. Our containment strategy continues to succeed. Human trade has decreased by 62%. Their colony resources are reaching critical levels. Soon they will have no choice but to accept our guidance and control. Sarah made a show of taking notes on her antiquated datapad, while her neural implant continued to monitor the quantum-level communications flowing through the chamber. Every worried glance from the Council members, every smugly satisfied comment, every confident prediction of humanity's submission was being carefully recorded and analyzed. Representative NX Leary's energy form pulsed with what passed for excitement among his species. Perhaps we should increase the pressure. Our analysis suggests their outer colonies will begin failing within 6 standard months. A few carefully placed trade embargoes could accelerate the process. A reasonable suggestion, Sarah spoke up, her voice carrying just the right note of desperate diplomacy. But please, consider the humanitarian impact. Our colonies are already struggling. She could feel the satisfaction radiating from the Council members. They were seeing exactly what they wanted to see, a once proud human diplomat reduced to pleading for mercy. None of them noticed the quantum-level changes happening in their own systems, the invisible preparations being made right under their noses. As the Council debated new ways to tighten their grip on humanity, Sarah's neural implant received a priority message from Commander Rodriguez: Phase 3 preparations complete. Quantum fleet standing by. Await final authorization. Sarah kept her expression neutral as she composed her response: authorization granted. The Council is fully committed to their containment strategy. They won't realize what's happening until it's far too late. Chapter 7, The Shadow Network's Web. Commander James Rodriguez stood in the command center of humanity's hidden lunar base, watching as the final pieces of their plan fell into place. The holographic displays surrounding him showed the true state of human space, not the carefully crafted illusion the Council was seeing. Arya, show me the Shadow Network's current status, he ordered. The AI compiled the data instantly, creating a complex three-dimensional map of human space. While the Council saw failing colonies and struggling trade routes, the reality was vastly different. The Shadow Network had turned their attempted containment into humanity's greatest advantage. Resource distribution is operating at peak efficiency, Arya reported. The quantum tunneling network has allowed us to move ships and supplies completely undetected. Our colonies now have stockpiles sufficient for 10 years of complete isolation. Rodriguez nodded with satisfaction. And Project Prometheus? All quantum drive vessels are in position, cloaked and waiting. The Council's sensor networks have been fully compromised. We can reveal the fleet at any time without triggering their early warning systems. Show me the Council's current tactical assessment of human space. The hologram shifted, showing the false data being fed to Council analysts. Their ships and sensors saw exactly what humanity wanted them to see, a civilization struggling under the weight of trade restrictions, their ships old and poorly maintained, their colonies barely surviving. Sir, Arya interrupted, Dr. Chen is reporting that the Council has just approved additional trade restrictions. They believe they're about to break humanity's resistance. Rodriguez allowed himself a grim smile. They think they're watching a primitive species thrash in their net. They have no idea they're actually watching a carefully choreographed performance. He straightened his uniform. Send the signal to all command centers. Operation Shadow Dance enters its final phase in 6 hours. It's time to show the galaxy what humanity can really do. The quantum communication network carried his orders instantly to every hidden facility and cloaked ship in human space. After 50 years of preparation, decades of hiding their true capabilities, humanity was about to reveal its hand. The Council thought they were dealing with a primitive, emotional species that needed to be contained. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. The Veil Falls. Chapter 8, 0 Hour. Admiral Helena Santos stood on the bridge of the HSS Prometheus, humanity's first quantum dreadnought. The ship existed in a state that the Council's scientists had deemed impossible, a perfect fusion of advanced quantum mechanics and human ingenuity. Its crystalline hull pulsed with colors that didn't exist in normal spacetime, while its quantum core manipulated reality itself. All ships report ready, Admiral, Captain Torres announced from his station. The quantum fleet is in position. Every Council world, every major military installation, and every strategic checkpoint is covered. Helena studied the tactical display. To the Council's sensors, this region of space was empty. They had no idea that the largest fleet ever assembled in galactic history was floating right under their noses. 500 capital ships, 2,000 corvettes, and over 5,000 autonomous combat units, all equipped with technology that the Council had deemed impossible. Signal from Earth Command, Torres reported. Commander Rodriguez confirms Operation Shadow Dance is entering final phase. Dr. Chen is in position at the Council chamber. We are authorized to proceed. Helena took a deep breath. This was the moment humanity had spent 50 years preparing for. Send the signal to all ships. Quantum synchronization in 5 minutes. When we reveal ourselves, I want every ship to appear simultaneously across Council space. The bridge crew worked with practiced precision, coordinating the most complex military operation in human history. Each ship's quantum drive had to be perfectly calibrated. They weren't just dropping their cloaking devices, they were about to demonstrate humanity's complete mastery of spacetime itself. Quantum synchronization in 3, 2, 1. Across Council space, reality itself seemed to hiccup. Where moments before there had been empty void, now hung the most advanced fleet ever created. The Council's sensors, compromised by years of careful infiltration, registered the impossible event simultaneously on thousands of worlds. All ships present and accounted for, Torres reported with satisfaction. The Council's defense networks are responding exactly as our simulations predicted, complete confusion. Helena allowed herself a small smile. Begin Phase 2. Let's show them exactly what they've been trying to contain. Chapter 9, The Council's Awakening. In the Galactic Council's central chamber, High Speaker Zorax was delivering another smug assessment of humanity's containment when every emergency alert system simultaneously activated. The crystalline walls of the chamber flickered with thousands of urgent messages as automated defense systems reported the impossible. High Speaker, a junior aide burst into the chamber, all 4 arms trembling. We're detecting, it's impossible, human ships. They're everywhere. Dr. Sarah Chen watched with carefully concealed satisfaction as chaos erupted in the Council chamber. Representatives from hundreds of species all trying to understand how their supposedly primitive charges had managed to deploy a massive fleet right under their noses. This is impossible. Zorax thundered, his silvery form rippling with agitation. Our sensors would have detected any large-scale fleet movements. Would they? Sarah's voice cut through the chaos like a blade. Every eye, sensory organ, and electromagnetic receptor turned to focus on her. Gone was the humble, pleading diplomat. In her place stood someone else entirely, confident, powerful, and absolutely in control. Did you really think we wouldn't notice your containment strategy? She continued, walking calmly to the center of the chamber. Did you honestly believe we were struggling under your trade restrictions? Everything you've seen for the past 50 years has been exactly what we wanted you to see. The chamber's main display activated, showing the true extent of humanity's fleet. Quantum drive ships hung in perfect formation around every major council world. Their crystalline hulls pulsed with impossible energies as their quantum fields warped the very fabric of spacetime. Impossible. Representative NX Leary's energy form flickered with distress. Our scientists determined this level of quantum manipulation couldn't be achieved for at least another 1,000 years. Your scientists were wrong, Sarah stated simply. While you thought you were containing us, we were advancing far beyond your understanding. Every tantrum, every emotional outburst, every sign of primitive behavior was carefully calculated to keep you overconfident and blind to our true capabilities. Chapter 10, The Digital Revelation. In his quantum computing center beneath Singapore, Dr. Marcus Wong watched with satisfaction as the Council's entire digital infrastructure revealed its true nature. For years, they had been gradually replacing the Council's systems with quantum-infiltrated duplicates. Now it was time to show them just how complete their control really was. Arya, initiate Protocol Omega, he commanded. Across Council space, every quantum computer, every AI system, and every digital network suddenly revealed the truth: they had been operating under human control for years. The Council's supposedly unbreakable quantum encryption had been compromised so completely that they hadn't even noticed. Warning, automated systems blared throughout the Council chamber. Critical security breach detected. All systems compromised. Sarah Chen smiled as panic erupted around her. Did you really think your quantum encryption was secure? While you were watching our public research into basic computing, we had already moved beyond anything you could comprehend. On every screen in the chamber, the true extent of humanity's technological superiority began to reveal itself. The quantum fleet wasn't just a military force, it was a demonstration of humanity's complete mastery of physics itself. Chapter 11, The Master Stroke. Commander James Rodriguez stood in the Lunar Command Center, watching as 50 years of planning finally came to fruition. The holographic displays showed the Council's complete confusion as they tried to understand just how thoroughly they had been outmaneuvered. Sir, Arya reported, the Council's military forces are attempting to respond, but their systems are operating through our quantum-infiltrated protocols. They can only see and do what we allow. Show me the Council chamber, he ordered. The display shifted to show Sarah Chen standing calmly in the center of chaos, every Council member finally realizing the true nature of the species they had tried to contain. She looked directly at the camera, knowing Rodriguez would be watching. For 50 years, she addressed the Council, her voice carrying effortless authority: you have treated humanity as a primitive species to be contained and controlled. You saw exactly what you expected to see: emotional outbursts, technological stumbling, predictable responses to your trade restrictions. The chamber's displays showed the full extent of humanity's shadow network, the hidden quantum tunnels that had allowed them to bypass all Council restrictions, the secret shipyards that had built an impossible fleet, the advanced research facilities that had rewritten the laws of physics themselves. But you never asked yourselves the most important question, Sarah continued. What if every emotional response was calculated? What if every apparent weakness was designed to blind you to our true strength? What if the primitive species you thought you were containing was actually containing you? The quantum fleet began to move in perfect synchronization, their impossible drives warping spacetime itself. But they weren't attacking, they were demonstrating. Each ship's movement was precisely calculated to show the Council exactly how outmatched they really were. We are not here to conquer, Sarah declared. We are here to correct a misconception. You thought humanity needed to be contained because we were too unpredictable, too emotional, too dangerous. The truth is, we are all of those things, but not in the way you thought. Rodriguez smiled as he watched the Council members finally understand. They had spent 50 years trying to contain what they saw as a primitive, emotional species. They were only now realizing that every emotional outburst, every apparent weakness, every predictable response had been part of a strategy so profound they couldn't even comprehend it. The game was over, and humanity had won before the Council even knew they were playing. Shockwaves. Chapter 12, The Council's Reckoning. The emergency session of the Galactic Council stretched into its third day. The massive chamber, once a symbol of unified galactic power, now felt more like a court where the judges had suddenly become the accused. Representatives from 500 species struggled to comprehend the full magnitude of humanity's deception. Impossible, thundered Representative Kvax of the Regelian Confederation, his crystalline form vibrating with barely contained energy. No species could have advanced so far without detection. Our monitoring systems were compromised years ago, Dr. Sarah Chen interrupted calmly. She stood at the center of the chamber, no longer playing the role of humble diplomat. Every system you used to watch us was actually showing you exactly what we wanted you to see. The chamber's main display activated, showing a time-lapse of human technological development, not the carefully crafted illusion the Council had been fed, but the true path of advancement. Quantum physics had been mastered decades ago. The seemingly primitive ships they'd been watching were actually advanced vessels running in stealth mode. While you thought you were watching a struggling species, Sarah continued, we were building something unprecedented in galactic history. A civilization that could operate completely outside your ability to detect or understand. High Speaker Zorax, his silvery form notably less luminescent than usual, finally spoke. Why? Why maintain this deception for so long? You clearly had the power to force your way into the Council years ago. Sarah's smile was both diplomatic and predatory. Because force was never our goal. We needed to understand the true nature of the Council. Would you welcome a new species as equals, or would you attempt to contain and control what you didn't understand? Your response to our carefully crafted weakness revealed everything. The implications hit the Council members like a physical blow. Every attempt to contain humanity had actually been a test, not of human capabilities, but of the Council's character. Chapter 13, The Hidden Earth. Admiral Helena Santos stood in the observation dome of the Lunar Command Center, watching as cloaking fields across human space began to deactivate. After 50 years of hiding their true nature, humanity was finally revealing the full extent of their achievements. The Earth that the Council thought they knew, a planet still recovering from environmental damage, struggling to maintain its colonies, shimmered and vanished like a mirage. In its place stood humanity's true homeworld, a planet transformed by quantum engineering and advanced environmental control. The Council's diplomatic delegation is approaching lunar orbit, Captain Torres reported. Their sensors are finally seeing our real infrastructure. Helena nodded. Let them see everything. It's time they understood exactly what they were trying to contain. The Council ships passed through layers of quantum fields that had hidden humanity's true achievements for decades. Massive orbital rings circled the Earth, their quantum processors manipulating reality itself. The Moon's surface was dotted with cities and research facilities that had been invisible to Council detection. But it was Mars that truly demonstrated humanity's mastery of physics. The red planet had been transformed at the quantum level, its atmosphere and biosphere completely engineered to human specifications. What the Council had seen as struggling colonies were actually vast cities hidden beneath quantum camouflage. They're requesting permission to land at the Olympus Mons facility, Torres announced. Granted, Helena ordered. Dr. Wong has prepared quite a demonstration for our guests. Chapter 14, The Quantum Truth. Dr. Marcus Wong stood in the central chamber of the Olympus Mons Quantum Research Facility, surrounded by technology that the Council had deemed impossible. The delegation of Council scientists moved through the facility in stunned silence, their various sensory organs struggling to process what they were seeing. What you're looking at, Marcus explained, is not just advanced technology. It's a fundamental reimagining of physics itself. While you were watching our public research into basic quantum mechanics, we were actually exploring realms of science that your civilizations haven't even theorized yet. The central chamber housed humanity's greatest achievement, a quantum computer that didn't just process information, but actively manipulated the fundamental structure of reality. The crystalline core pulsed with energies that shouldn't exist in normal spacetime. Impossible, whispered the lead council scientist, a being of pure energy named ZX Tau. Our studies showed that this level of quantum manipulation would tear apart the fabric of spacetime. Marcus smiled. Your studies were based on a fundamental misunderstanding of quantum mechanics. We discovered that reality is far more flexible than anyone imagined. The laws of physics aren't fixed, they're more like suggestions that can be rewritten if you understand the underlying code. He gestured, and the quantum core activated. The very fabric of reality around them began to shift and flow, demonstrating humanity's complete mastery of space, time, and energy. This is why your containment strategy was doomed from the start, he explained. You were trying to contain a species that had already moved beyond the physical limitations you thought were universal laws. Chapter 15, The New Order. Commander James Rodriguez stood in the Council's Emergency Command Center, watching as the old order crumbled and a new one began to take shape. The quantum fleet still hung in perfect formation around every major Council world, not as a threat, but as a demonstration of just how completely humanity had transcended traditional limitations. The Council's civilian populations are beginning to understand the full implications, Arya reported. The quantum data streams we've released are showing them exactly how their leadership attempted to contain us, and how completely that containment failed. Rodriguez nodded. This had always been part of the plan. Not just to demonstrate humanity's technological superiority, but to force a fundamental change in how the galaxy's civilizations related to each other. Sir, Arya interrupted, Dr. Chen is requesting your presence in the Council chamber. The vote is about to begin. The emergency session of the Council had stretched into its fourth day. The representatives had moved from denial to anger, through bargaining, and finally to acceptance. Now they faced a choice that would reshape the galaxy. Sarah Chen stood at the center of the chamber, her presence commanding even among beings that could bend light itself. The question before us is simple, she announced. Will the Council continue as it has, attempting to control and contain what it doesn't understand? Or will it evolve into something new, a true partnership of civilizations, each bringing their unique perspectives and capabilities to create something greater than the sum of its parts? The chamber erupted in discussion, but this time it was different. The fear and anger were gone, replaced by a growing understanding of the opportunity before them. Humanity hadn't revealed their true nature just to humiliate the Council, they had done it to force a fundamental change in galactic civilization itself. We offer you not just our technology, Sarah continued, but our perspective. You saw our emotional responses as a weakness to be contained. In reality, it was our emotions, our drive to explore, to question, to overcome limitations, that allowed us to advance beyond anything you thought possible. The vote, when it came, was nearly unanimous. The old council would be dissolved, replaced by a new organization based on genuine cooperation rather than control. Humanity's great deception had served its true purpose, not just to demonstrate their capabilities, but to force the galaxy's civilizations to confront their own limitations and prejudices. As the new charter was approved, Rodriguez smiled. The council had thought they were containing a primitive, emotional species. Instead, they had become the catalyst for their own evolution. The game was over, but the real work was just beginning. Dawn of a New Era. Chapter 16, The Quantum Renaissance. 1 year after humanity's revelation, the galactic sphere, formerly the council chamber, hummed with an energy that was both familiar and entirely new. Representatives from over 500 species gathered not to debate containment protocols or trade restrictions, but to witness the beginning of what historians would later call the Quantum Renaissance. Dr. Sarah Chen stood on the central platform, but this time she was surrounded by a team of human scientists and their alien counterparts. The chamber's quantum-enhanced displays showed something that would have been deemed impossible just a year ago, the first joint human-alien research project into quantum reality manipulation. What you're about to witness, Sarah announced, is not just a demonstration of technology. It's proof that different species, working together without fear or prejudice, can achieve things that none of us could accomplish alone. The central display activated, showing a test site in deep space. A combined team of human and council scientists had been working to adapt quantum drive technology to the unique physical characteristics of different species. The result was something entirely new, a hybrid system that incorporated the best aspects of multiple civilizations' understanding of physics. "Begin the test," Sarah commanded. The experimental ship, designed by a collaboration of 12 different species, activated its hybrid quantum drive. Space itself seemed to fold and ripple as the vessel demonstrated capabilities beyond even what humanity had achieved alone. It didn't just move through space-time, it rewrote the laws of physics in ways that even humans hadn't imagined possible. "This," Sarah declared to the stunned audience, "is what happens when we stop trying to contain each other and start working together. Each of our species sees reality in a slightly different way. When we combine those perspectives, we can achieve things that none of us thought possible." Chapter 17, The Hidden Purpose. Deep beneath the surface of Mars, Commander James Rodriguez walked through the quantum research facility that had once been humanity's most closely guarded secret. Now it was filled with scientists from across the galaxy, all working together to understand and expand the boundaries of what was possible. The integration of Council quantum theory with human emotional processing algorithms has yielded unexpected results, Dr. Wong reported excitedly. Their logical approach combined with our intuitive understanding has opened up entirely new areas of physics. Rodriguez nodded, watching as teams of humans and aliens worked side by side. This had been the true goal all along, not just to prove humanity's capabilities, but to create an environment where genuine collaboration could flourish. "Show me the latest data from Project Genesis," he ordered. The quantum display activated, showing something that would have been impossible under the old order, a complete map of the galaxy's quantum structure. By combining the perspectives and technologies of multiple species, they had begun to understand the fundamental nature of reality itself. "The Council's logical approach helped us stabilize our quantum field manipulations," Wong explained. "And our emotional understanding helped them see patterns they'd missed in their own research. Together, we're not just advancing technology, we're rewriting the possibilities of what civilization can achieve." Chapter 18, The Greater Challenge. Admiral Helena Santos stood on the bridge of the HSS Unity, the first starship built by the combined efforts of 20 different species. The vessel represented everything humanity had hoped to achieve, not dominance over other civilizations, but true collaboration that elevated everyone involved. "The quantum core is showing unprecedented stability," reported her XO, a crystalline being named Tal. "The fusion of human quantum theory with Rigelian crystal technology has created something entirely new." Helena smiled. The ship itself was a testament to what could be achieved when different species work together without fear or prejudice. Its hull incorporated technologies from a dozen worlds, its quantum drive represented the combined understanding of multiple civilizations, and its crew demonstrated that different species could work together seamlessly. "Long-range sensors are detecting the anomaly," Tal announced. "It's exactly where the combined quantum calculations predicted." On the main screen, a massive disturbance in spacetime pulsed with energies that defied conventional physics. This was why humanity had worked so hard to change the galaxy's power structure, because they had detected something coming, something that would require the combined efforts of all intelligent species to face. Chapter 19, The Ultimate Revelation. The emergency session of the Galactic Assembly, the new name for the combined species governing body, had none of the fear or tension that had characterized the old council meetings. Representatives from hundreds of worlds gathered not to compete or contain, but to face a challenge that would require all of their combined abilities. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the center of the chamber, but now she was just one voice among many equals. The quantum anomaly we've detected represents something beyond any single species' ability to comprehend or address, she explained. This is why humanity worked so hard to change the galaxy's power structure. We knew that facing this challenge would require something unprecedented, the truly unified efforts of all intelligent species. The chamber's displays showed the massive disturbance in spacetime, growing larger and more complex with each passing moment. The combined quantum calculations of multiple species suggested that it was not just a natural phenomenon, but a deliberate attempt by something outside their universe to make contact. This is the true test, Sarah declared. Not whether one species can dominate or contain others, but whether we can all work together to achieve something greater than any of us could imagine alone. Chapter 20, A New Dawn. Commander Rodriguez stood in the observation dome of the Unity, watching as the combined fleet of the galaxy's civilizations moved into position around the quantum anomaly. Each ship represented the best technologies and insights of multiple species working together. The sight would have been impossible just a year ago, hundreds of civilizations, once suspicious and competitive, now working in perfect harmony. The quantum calculations are complete, Arya announced, her consciousness now enhanced by the combined AI technologies of multiple species. The anomaly represents a gateway, an attempt by beings from another reality to make contact with our universe. Rodriguez nodded. This had been humanity's true purpose all along. They hadn't revealed their quantum technology just to prove their superiority or force changes in the galaxy's power structure. They had done it because they knew that somewhere out there, something was waiting, something that would require the combined efforts of all intelligent species to understand and face. All ships report ready, Helena's voice came through the quantum comm. Every species' unique technologies and perspectives are synchronized. We're about to attempt something that's never been done in the history of our galaxy, a truly unified response to the unknown. As the combined fleet prepared to make first contact with whatever waited on the other side of the quantum anomaly, Rodriguez reflected on how far they had come. The Council had thought they needed to contain humanity because of their emotional, unpredictable nature. They had never realized that those very qualities, the ability to imagine the impossible, to feel their way through problems that logic alone couldn't solve, to believe in things beyond their current understanding, were exactly what the galaxy needed. Begin the quantum initialization sequence, he ordered. Let's show the universe what we can achieve together. The combined fleet activated their quantum systems simultaneously, each ship contributing its unique properties to create something greater than the sum of its parts. As space-time itself began to bend and reshape around them, opening a gateway to whatever waited beyond, one thing became clear: the age of containment and competition was over. A new era had begun, one in which the combined achievements of all species would reach heights that none of them could have imagined alone. Humanity hadn't just changed the galaxy's power structure, they had helped create something entirely new, a civilization ready to face the greatest challenges the universe could present. As the quantum gateway began to open, revealing wonders beyond any single species' comprehension, the truth of humanity's long game finally became clear. They hadn't been fighting for dominance or even equality. They had been preparing the galaxy for something far greater, the next step in the evolution of all intelligent life.